Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with the lecture 7 for this week. It's week 7. Last week we started with a new theme, which is space exploration, and we covered the first reading lesson. Today we're going to move to the second reading lesson, which is a very short lesson. The reading lesson is Astronomers Discover a Solar System. You know that an astronomer is a person who studies space and discovers new things in space. So this lesson is about astronomers discovering the solar system, يعني all the planets. What science fiction once told of other worlds far, far away is now a fact. Everything that they used to say a very long time ago is now a fact, is now real. Astronomers confirm another solar system like ours with multiple planets in the constellation Andromeda. Jeffrey Marcy is a professor of astronomy and physics at San Francisco State and says, "What we have found now, for the first time ever, is needed a fully fledged system of planets around the star Upsilon Andromeda. It appears to have 3 planets, one close in, one at the middle distance, and one farther out. The star is slightly larger than our sun." So they are talking about a new solar system that they discovered other than the sun and the other planets. The planets are huge, like our Jupiter. Marcy's associate in this research, Deborah Fisher, describes the solar system, the new solar system they discovered. Here's the inner planet that goes around every 4.6 days, the middle planet that goes around every 242 days, and then the outer planet that goes around every 3.5 to 4 years. Astronomically, it's not far away, 44 light years. The sun of the solar system, Upsilon Andromeda, is so near and bright it can be seen by the naked eye during summer and fall. So the new solar system that they discovered can be seen by our naked eye in summer and fall. For 12 years, astronomers searched the skies in the belief that if our sun has planets around it, surely others do too. Jeffrey Marcy says, and then starting 3.5 years ago, we began finding for the first time planets singly one planet here around one star. So they started finding one planet around one star. When I look up at the stars now at night, I can imagine easily that every one of them has planets around them, says Deborah Fisher, like every star has a planet around it. It was wobble in the star that led Marcy to the planets. The star wobbles around due to the gravity of the planets, much like a dog owner gets yanked around by a little poodle. Can they support life? We don't know. Are they beneficial? We still don't know. This is what they're saying. Because present technology is not advanced enough to determine what the planets are made of. That Marcy says it's astronomy's new challenge. So it's astronomy's new challenge to discover if these new planets are beneficial to the health, to our lives or not. Okay, now we are going to start with the questions. What is a light year? How do you calculate it? Akid, we can refer to the text to answer these questions. All of the answers. If the verb ends with y, there are 2 rules. The first rule, if the verb ends with a consonant and then y, we have to cross the y and add ies. And when the verb ends with a vowel letter and then y, we just add s to the verb. Now let's move to the verbs that end with O, SH, SS, CH, X, and Z, like go, brush, mix, watch. All of these verbs, we add to them ES in order to change them to the present simple tense. And if the present simple used with I, command, the verb stays in its base form or in its root form. Now, what are some time expressions that are used in the present simple? Yani, how do I know that I have to use the present simple? I know from the time expressions or the adverbs of frequency, such as every day, every week, every month, in the afternoon, often, every morning, in the evening, never, always, usually, rarely, sometimes, once a week, once a month, once a year, every summer, every winter, and so on. Let's now move to the affirmative, negative, and interrogative. The affirmative is the positive form of the sentence, the negative is the opposite form, and the interrogative is the question form. So when I say I ride my bike, in the negative means we say I do not ride my bike, and I start my question with do. So do I ride my bike? If I said he rides his bike, in the negative form it becomes he doesn't ride his bike. And in the interrogative it becomes does he ride his bike? In the affirmative form, if the subject is in the plural, like they ride their bike, in the negative I have to say they don't ride their bike, not doesn't, because the subject or the doer of the action is plural, and I use the same word as the first one, do they ride their bike? These are some of the exercises. Let's hold them together. Put the verbs between brackets in the present simple tense. The plane arrive at 6:30. So the plane is a singular subject, so the plane arrives. I will phone you when he is a simple subject, so when he comes home back. Unless we is a plural subject, so unless we start. The sun rises in the east. The next term begins on Monday. She is an engineer. They are our relatives. When does the train departs? I say depart, not departs, because there is does. When there is does, I do not add s to the verb. Let's wait till he finishes, because we have he. Please ring me up as soon as he arrives. Let's move to the affirmative, negative, and interrogative. Paul and Mark come back home together. Paul and Mark are plural subjects, so Paul and Mark do not come back home together. In the interrogative form, do Paul and Mark come back home together? Mrs. Davis doesn't work in an office. So the affirmative form is Mrs. Davis works in an office. Interrogative form, does Mrs. Davis work in an office? The interrogative form here is, do you usually solve your homework after school? In the affirmative, you usually solve your homework after school. In the negative, you don't usually, or you usually don't solve your homework after school. Both ways, it's correct. Okay, now we are going to move to the writing part. We are going to explain the advantages and disadvantages essay. In the advantages and disadvantages essay, we describe or talk about the positive and negative sides of a given topic. Any topic might be given. How to organize an advantage and disadvantages essay. First of all, we start with the introduction, which is a hook, background information, and thesis. Then we start with body 1 advantages, body 2 disadvantages, and the conclusion. Sometimes we might only be asked about how to just write the advantages or just write the disadvantages. Let's read the sample prompt here. Our future lies with today's kids and tomorrow's space exploration. In a well-organized expository essay of 150 to 200 words, explain 2 advantages of exploring space. Okay, so benefits of space exploration. This is the title of our essay. We are going to talk about the advantages, okay? The Earth is the cradle of humanity, but mankind cannot stay in the cradle forever. This is a hook. Going to space and exploring other planets and areas is space. Going to space, exploring and exploring other planets and areas in space has been something that really interests anyone. This is because exploration has been something everyone, for the most part, has participated in and loved doing, because you are discovering new things and you had no idea about before. Exploring space has numerous positive impacts on our future. This is the thesis statement. The first benefit is that in the cases of social benefits linked to the new knowledge and technology, this is the first benefit. The second benefit is space exploration offers a unique and evolving perspective of humanity's place in the universe, which is common to all. And in the conclusion, as you all know, we restate the thesis and we write the concluding sentence.